So for that, let us take one scenario. The scenario is like you have given a requirement. As a developer, you have given a requirement to find sum of the numbers. To find sum of numbers. Then for that, what do we do? We take variables, we find the sum, we return the result. Correct or not? So for that, let us go for one method. Public void sum is method name. Then at least two numbers, otherwise it's meaningless. Therefore, one int x comma one int y, and so let me keep this return type as integer. Then inside this, what we must use? Return statement, then followed by x plus y as a value directly. Can you do this? Yes or no? Yeah. So then the manager came and asked you to write one more method. So this is finding only two, sum of two numbers, but I want to find sum of three numbers. What do we do? Public int sum add int a comma int b comma int c. Then go for the return value. So return of a plus b plus c. Addition of three numbers over. Then he came and asked you to write the method to perform sum of four numbers. What to do? What you should do? You find one more method name. We'll find one more method name. No. So for example, public int. Here also, see, for finding a sum, the basic proper way of giving a method name is sum or add, something like that. But if you go for some other name, then people will not recognize so easily. That it has no proper meaning for that. Then what we have to go for? Instead of sum and add, first one sum, second one also sum. But here it takes two parameters. So whenever we call this method, it will find the sum of two numbers. Whenever we call this sum method, but if you give three inputs, then that will perform sum of three numbers. Similarly, I want to perform for four. Generally, more than 4 and 5, we don't use it. But it is my point is, can we have a same method name and with different signature so that our requirement will be fulfilled? That's my question. Yeah. So in this scenario, for example, method name is area. But is it area of a rectangle or area of a square or area of a triangle? So like that, different number of inputs that we give, still the area has to give the output. So accordingly, whatever we give, therefore, as a end user, we'll get the results. But internally, as a programmer, we have to make arrangement for all such type of requirements. So therefore, we go with the same method name, but different in number of inputs. Then that's called as method overloading. In one class, same method name in different signatures or different parameters, then it's called as a method overloading. So this is the requirement of that. Yeah. So first type of polymorphism, what is method overloading? Method overloading. So here having same method name, but different signatures is called method overloading. Same method name but different signatures. That's called as a method overloading. Different in inputs. If signature is nothing but including name, it is involved. Different input or different signatures is called as a method overloading. So for this, one example, it's not syntax, one example. If we write like this, say public class, some class, arithmetic class. Inside this arithmetic class, let us define some methods. Public int sum of two. The same thing I'm writing, int x comma int y. Then in this, what we have to return? Return x plus y. One line approach. In this method, can we have one more method with same name? public int sum. Then here int x comma, int y comma, int z. Then the purpose of this method is perform the sum of those three and return the value. So int return of x plus y plus z. Correct? Yeah. So like this in one class, we can have same method name, but here two inputs, here three inputs, next four inputs, zero inputs, one input, all are different from one to other. Can we have same inputs? For example, one more method in the same class only, public int sum, again int a comma int b. Possible? No, because whenever we call this method sum, how many inputs you have to pass? Two inputs. What type? Then already this is there, no? Already the previous one is doing the same job. Then why to take one more method to do this same repeated job? That's why if you write like that, if you write the same method name, but with the same signature, in the same class. Remember my statement. If you write that same methods with same method name, same signature in one class, then it's compile time error. It's not allowed. Because what this wants to do, the same thing can be done with this also. That's why this of same signature methods are not allowed in a same class. A different signature only is allowed. Yeah. So this, if you try to write something here, written and all, so this one is already matching with a previous thing. There is already there. That's why it's not allowed in this given class. Am I clear? Method overloading. Am I clear? Any questions? Any questions? No. Then let me take one more example. One more example. So I'll take a class, public class, some class K. In this A class, I'm having a method public void yum, no inputs, nothing in the body. Is it correct? Yeah, of course, I did not close A. I did not close A. Okay, let me close. Is it correct? Yes. Then can I take one more method, the same method name, but a different inputs? Yeah. But here, I'll change the return type, int. I'll keep the access modifier as public. Then, because it has to return integer, I'll return x. X is int type. Is it correct? Is it correct or not? Is this is called as method overloading or not is my question. Come on, guys, respond something. Is it correct in terms of method overloading or am I wrong in syntax or with some whatever is the reason? Anything is wrong? Yeah, what is error? Return type is different. Yes or no? So in previous example, so what's the return type? So method name is sum and method name is sum and method name is, sorry, return type is integer. Return type is integer. What is access modifier? Public. I did not write, but I am pronouncing public only. So it's also public. Then here I am saying this is a method overloading. But my next question is, so if you change this type, previously it was void, now it is integer. Then is it overloading? Is it overloading or no? Come on here, make some opinion. What your mind says. So your silence means no? Yeah. Give me some meaning for your silence so that next time I'll understand that is. That's your answer. Yeah, please tell me something. No or yes? Okay. Then next. So first method, then next one, I am making this as private. Don't worry about what this private will do. So just I'm changing the access modifier. Then return type void. Method name yum. Different signature, I'll take string. Is the method signature same from any of the previous or different? Only signature, different. Now is this is also method overloading? First one, third one. This combination is overloading or not? Overloading. Then but here access modifier different. No? So now come back to the definition. What is one? Having same method name but different signatures or input. Is the definition says anything about return type? The definition says anything about access modifier? Therefore, all three are correct. These all are correct. Method name is same or not? First point to check for method overloading. Method inputs are different or not? Second thing to check. That's all. Don't worry about what is access modifier, what is it, return type, and all those things. So those things will not be considered in terms of method overloading. Yeah, clear? So this one is, of course, first one. Then this is also correct. Then this is also correct only. So all these are correct. Any questions? Any doubts? Guys, is it clear? Any question? What is overloading? Only the name should be same and signature should be different, and it is about methods only, not anything else, variables and all. Okay, done. Next, I am moving from overloading of single class to inheritance. So for this, let me take one example. So here is a class A and public void m, no inputs, and then public void m of int a comma int b. Is it correct? In this class A? Yes, it's overloading. It is possible. Then if we have a child class to this class A, then that will be class name B, which extends class A. So then this B is a child class of class A. Then in child class can we overload? For example, public void m and here say float f some double d, then the body. Is it correct? Is it correct? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he is saying no. What about yours? You go with him. So then can we overload a method in child class? Is it overloading or this is a separate method of class B? Is it overloading or separate method of class B? Come on. It is? It is overloading. It is overloading. What is the proof? Create object for class B and call m method with no inputs, which will be executed parent method. And create object for class B and call m with one float and one double input. What will be executed? This class will be executed. Yeah. So then, so when by creating object for child class, we can access both parent and also child methods. So therefore, this overloading is also possible in child classes. It is beyond inheritance actually. Yeah, when it comes to overloading of method, inheritance is not mandatory because we can overload in the given class, we can overload in the child class also. Clear? Sure. So this is also correct. So this is about method overloading. Anyone, any questions? Online, any questions? Overriding is different. That's not overriding. Done? Yeah. The next one, the next one, constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. Because what is constructor? It's a type of method. Then is that overloading is applicable to constructor or not? That's the next point to understand. Already we know this. Just only I'm using a terminology properly here. Previously we discussed about a class can have n number of constructors with different signature. That itself is constructor overloading itself. That itself is a constructor overloading. It's not anything new. So for that, public class, some class test. Class test. In this public Then constructor name, same as class name. And for the first constructor, no inputs. One more constructor, same name. That's the rule for constructor. Then followed by a different signature. Then this is also one more constructor. In same class, two constructors with same name, of course, and difference in signature. It's called as constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. But the important point is it possible to overload parent class constructor in child class? Public class, some test2 extends test. Now in this child class, test2 class, can we have a constructor with name as test? In this child class, can we have a constructor name which is same as parent class name? What do I mean? Public test, then parenthesis, a different signature. So let me take something called as string yes, then the body. Is it correct? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. What is a constructor? What is a constructor? Come on. Okay, what are the properties of constructor? First property. Constructor name should be same as a class name. Other class name or same current class name? Other class name or current class name? Current class name. What is the current class name? What's the constructor name? And then is it current class name? Therefore, this is wrong. Understood? So the conclusion is method overloading is possible in both parent and also child class. Method overloading is possible. But is it possible to constructor overloading? Constructor overloading is possible in the given class only, but not possible in the child class. Understood? We overloading means what? Same name. But is the same name is possible in this class? No, constructor name has to be same as the current class name. But how can we have a constructor name as parent class name? So that's why overloading is not possible for constructors in child class. Okay, within the declared class only, it is possible, but not in the child class. Clear? Yeah. Guys, are you getting me or it's out of mind? What is happening? Online also, please, especially here. Getting or any facing any difficulty? Shall I go slow? If I go slow, then it will be like sleeping only. That's one more problem. So always I have to keep you make you thinking. Then only you'll be active. Yeah. Is it fine, guys? Happening? Understanding. Okay. Please respond, no? Karthik and Shrikant. Is it going good? Yeah. Then the next thing, next thing is, for example, there is a public class RBI is one class. In this, they are implementing one method for, say, personal loan. Personal loan. So for that, they have written some method. Don't be too critical about what is the logical part and all. Then public, some return type void, I'll keep simple. Then some PL is a method name, personal loan. Then what is that? Some float, say rate of interest R. Then they are writing some logic. They're writing some logic in this, and also they are printing it. So system dot out dot println, some logic they are writing, and they are printing that result also. So this is how the RBI has written some method. Then what are the banks, other banks which works under RBI, like Axis, some other banks and all? So they did not like the implementation because RBI is taking too less interest, and they are implementing that. They are implementing that. So these child banks did not like, in the sense like, so it is allowed for a child bank to apply their own rate of interest instead of following the RBI interest. So they have to follow the rules, but they have some manipulations permissions. Let us assume. Then in this class, in this child class, public class, say some SBI bank whose extends the RBI. It extends the RBI. Then in this class, can this class also have a same method called PL, same parameter called float, and same variable? Or then only they can write their own logic, no? Yes or no? The rules to follow according to RBI is nothing but, so this class, whatever the method, access modifier, return type, method name, inputs. If the child class also has the same method, I mean same method header with same values and all, then here they can change the logic. For example, here something R into R, just some dummy logic. Here also something, but R into R, something like that. They want to get some more interest from the customers, so they are changing their own logic. So here, is this situation, is this is possible? Do they follow the same thing, or do they need to change according to their requirements and their customers and all? It is always allowed to change. One method, whatever is the logical part, it is there. It is possible to change from the child class by following some rules. So this concept of having same method name, same signature, same method name, same signature. Different signature means overloading. But what if same signature? Then that concept is called as a method overriding. Method overriding. This is very, very important. Method overriding. Same name, same method name, same signature, then that is called as a, sorry, different signature, that's called as a overloading. But here, same name, same signature. Same name, same signature, that's called as a overriding. Overriding, and overloading is possible in same class, but overriding must be in parent to child relation only. We can't override in the same class. It has to be overridden from the child class itself. So this is nothing but, so here say one logic. This is one logic. This is the different logic or other logic. Different logic. Yeah. So what is the definition of this method overriding? Changing the behavior. Behavior means the logic part. Changing the behavior of parent class instance method. Parent class instance method from child class is called method overriding. Is called method overriding. So here, changing the behavior means the logical part of parent class instance method from child class. So with a different logic, this process is called as a method overriding. And here I have written very clearly parent class and child class. Therefore, method overriding is not possible without inheritance. It's not possible. It must be there. But when it comes to overloading, so here, do we have any inheritance? Left hand side? Left side, is there any inheritance? No, but still we can do the overloading process. But when it comes to overriding, it is never possible without inheritance. It must be through inheritance only. Then any properties are there? Yeah. The rules to follow for method overriding is by having the first one. Same method name or different method name? Same method name. Same method name. Same parameters or different parameters? Same, same signature means same number of parameters, same type of parameters, same order of parameters also. So I'm covering all those with simple thing called as same signature. The next, same return type or different return type? Same return type only. Same return type. Then same access modifier or different access modifier? Same or different? Same access modifier. Yeah. Where? By having same method name, same signature, same return type, same access modifier in both parent and child classes. This is called as method overriding concept. Yeah, understood. So what is the scenario that we have to override? Any example? So for that, let us understand one example. So there is a class, public class, the class name, some shape. Inside this one, I want to define one method, area method. So for that, public int area, and which takes any two integer inputs, say int x comma int y. Then what's the logic of this one? Return like x star y. X into y is the value to be returned. But is the same logic is applicable to every type of shape? No. Yeah, private is not possible. So that we'll understand once we go to access modifiers. But of overriding is possible. There is a different meaning, Prashant. So this is one shape with one area method. Then what could be the child class? There are different shapes. Rectangle shape is there, triangle is there, then square is there. So like that, there are various different shapes. Rhombus is there, like that. Then here in another class, maybe different file. So don't confuse about why public and public for classes. In one file, we can't have more than one public class. Okay, that rule already we know. Then only class I'll take class, the class name, say rectangle. Yeah, class rectangle. Then to override, it should be a child class. Child class of whom? Extends the parent class name called as shape. Then in this scenario, so what should be the method? Same access modifier, then same return type, same method name, same type of parameters. So can I go for int L comma int B? Can we change the variable name? So here int and int, the type is matching. Can we go for different variable names? Or we have to use X and Y only? Variable name can be anything, always programmer choice. So inside this one, now what is our shape currently? This is a rectangle. Then what's the logic of rectangle? Return, what you have written? L into B, correct? Then for example, if it is a triangle, but we have to use this class only as a parent class. There is no rule. There is no other violation of this rule. Then how to go for class triangle? The next extends which class? Shape. Then followed by inside this also access modifier public, return type is integer, method name is area. How many parameters? Two parameters. What type? Two type only. Int b for base, int h for height. Then inside this return, what we have written? Triangle logic we have written. What is that? 1 by 2 f. Then half into base into height is the appropriate value to be returned from triangle class area method. This is the use case of a method overriding concept. So in parent method, so once we go to interface, you'll understand more clearly what I am talking all these things. But as of now, in one class, if they declare one method, and the other people has to follow the same rule. Same rule. What is the meaning of that rule? You have to use the same method. You can change your logic, but you have to use my same method header only. Then in that scenario, we'll go with the overriding process. And this is one example of dummy area method is doing something. But actually, according to the shape, we can change that logic according to triangle, then half into base into height. Then rhombus, d1 into d2 by 2. Yeah, like that parallelogram, base into height. So like that, we can use this shape class as a parent class, and we can take any number of childs, and in that each child class, we can change the logic wherever the two inputs are required. Square also, take int s comma int s, then write return s into s. Same variable. Yeah. So rectangle is one child of this. Then followed by, I did not write square, but in this I'll write triangle, then square, like that. So these are the various examples that one method will be defined in this parent class, child has to follow. Yeah. And some of you didn't, we didn't complete the string concept, but to few of you, I already explained that in object class, one method is there, equals method, which is used for comparing the address of objects. But in string class, the same equals method will do what? Content comparison. Content comparison. So here is the address comparison. The same thing in string builder class. In string builder class, the same equals method. What's the job of it? It will again compare the address only. It means what? There is a parentmost class called object class. In that there is a method is defined called equals method, whose logical part is or whose behavior is compare the address. But being a child of this object class, because object class is a parent class of every class. Being a child of this object class, in string class, the behavior of equals method is changed. Then how did they change? By the help of method overriding concept only. And they change the behavior to address comparison to content comparison is the logic in this. Yeah. So here also it is overriding only, but they did not change the behavior. They left it empty. Therefore, string builder equals method will do the same job of parent class object class equals method job only. But in string class, it's overridden. So this is one Java example. Where do we override? Banking system will happen like that only. Yeah, banking system also will happen like that. So they'll change their own rate of interest by R value. So they'll get according to them. So they have some limitations, inflation, that and all. We don't need to go for that. So this overriding example, am I clear? Or do you have any questions? Then if we create object for this rectangle class, and if we call this area method, which method will be executed? Which method output will get? Child class area method or parent class area method? Priority goes to child or parent? Child only. Child only. So now these points, if anybody still has a doubt, I'll execute through Eclipse. Still, if you feel any questions are there, please be open to ask. So in this previous Java OOPS package, I'll take a new package called com.visiblecampus dot polymorphism is not a keyword. We can take that as a end of package name. So inside this package, I'll take a new class. I'll name this class as method overloading demo. Yeah. So in this class, is it possible to have multiple methods with same name, different signatures? Multiple methods with same name but different signatures. Public void em. Can you take one more method name called em? Yes or no? So I'll try to prove a different access modifier. Private void em of int x. Possible? Yes or no? Are we getting any error? Therefore, same method name, different signature. Different access modifiers, different return types. Doesn't matter when it comes to overloading concept. So then, can I take one more method? Say public. The return type, I'll go for int. The method name is yum. The parameters are string some yes, comma, char ch. Then since it has to return, so return some dummy integer. Comma is missing. Yeah. Accepted? Yes, sir. So overloading is nothing but in the given class, string is a class. Then a string also has separate class. I didn't understand the statement. String is a predefined class which is there in java.lang package. In basic coding classes, you have attended. Yeah. So this is one example of same method name and different signatures in one given class only. So this is nothing but method overloading. So when we create the object, so whichever the method that we call according to the signature, that method will be executed. So for example, so in the first one, I'll use sample print statement of no arguments method, no arguments. Then I'll take this line and I'll paste here. Then here I'll change it to what is the argument? Int arguments method. Then before return statement only we have tried something, never after return statement. Then here also I'll place and here I'll say string and and char arguments just to see the different outputs. Then inside the same class for execution, I'm taking main method public static void main and then followed by string square brackets args a string array. Then inside this, so to execute any of these methods, what do you have to do? Create the object. So which class object? Method overloading demo object you have to create. So that I'm taking, I'm sorry. So method, second one I have to select. Method, control space, I don't want type. Then from here I'm taking method overloading demo, some m equals new control space, same class object got created. Yeah. So what constructor? Default constructor provided by compiler. So then followed by which method to be called? Okay, any confusion of m and m? I'll take x. Variable of programmer choice. You can also have m, no problem. X dot m with no inputs. Correct? So this will give what output? No arguments. I am using control F11 on my keyboard. You can see no arguments. Then can we also call x dot m of 10? Possible? Yes or no? Now what output? Int arguments. Control F11. Both are there. Then next followed by x dot m of what is that? One string. So something in dummy double quotes. Then followed by one character. So in single quotes A. Possible? What's output this time? String and char arguments is the output. So it depends on the requirement. Once we create the object, so whichever the method that you want depends on the inputs only because name is same, depends on which input. 2 numbers addition, 3 numbers addition, 10 numbers addition, define all those methods and call accordingly whatever it is required. So that method only will be executed and will give the meaningful or appropriate outputs. That's how the method overloading will be used. Clear in this? Yeah. So then, is it possible to overload in child class is the next concept. So for time being, I'll cut this. Now here is only one class. In a single class or in a given class, we discussed about overloading. Then if we have a child class, in child class also, can we have same method with different signature for overloading? Yes, it is possible. For that, let me take some class name test. Extends is a keyword, then space control space I'll use. I'll select this class name. Then inside this class also can we have a method? So wantedly I'm taking a different return type also here. Public string, method name is m, and previously what's the input? No input, int input, string input, and character input. Then this time I'll go with something called as float f. Is it there previously? No. Then is it possible? Yes, return type is missing. Return some string, say Java. Accepted? Yes or no? Now if we create object and if we call a method m with float input, what will be executed? Child class method or parent class method? There is only one method, right? If you are giving a float input, which method will be executed is my question. Test class method or parent class method? You got struck. So here my question is, I'm just having a sample print statement first. Okay, so this is the sample. Then now when we take main method, of course, I missed it. Okay. Now if we call method m, if we call method m and we'll pass 3.14 as the input, then which method will be executed? Test class method will be executed or not? Are you here? Did you get my question or no? So my question is, if we take the, if we create the object, and if we call method m of 3.14 f, what is the output? Float arguments. Yes or no? So in this scenario, which method m takes float? So this child class method m takes float. Therefore, that will be executed and we get the output called as float arguments only. So it means overloading is possible in given class and also in child class. For overloading, frankly speaking, inheritance is not required. Yeah. So for overloading, inheritance is not required at all, not mandatory at all. It can be in the same class or it can be in the child class also. But even without this also, it is possible. So, but there is no such thing for overriding. Overloading is no inheritance. I mean, it's not mandatory, but overriding, it is mandatory. It's mandatory. Yeah. So any questions from this? Any questions from this here? Overloading in given class and also overloading in child class. Yes, guys, clear? Sure. Then we'll go for one more example of overriding. So in this polymorphism package, I'll take a new class. I'll take this class as test for my execution. Take a main method. Finish. Inside this file, the test is already there. I have to rename it. In one package. Yeah, so in one project, there is already test class is there. So therefore, even though it's a different package, we are not allowed to take the same class name. That's why it's giving the error. So what I'll do, I'll rename to test2. Then it is asking us to rename the file also. Yes, I rename the file. Done. Yeah. There is a class called test2 that we'll use later for execution purpose. Then first, what is overriding? Take one class. So it can't be another public class. Class, say shape. Inside this class body, let us take one method, say public. Return type is integer. Area is method, which takes two inputs, int x comma int y. Then here, what are the implementation that you want to do? We can do it, say return 10 dummy value. I'm not even doing x into y also. Some dummy return. Then this area method logic, or what this area method behavior. Behavior means logic only. This is, I did not like it. but my team manager is saying that you have to use this method only in your class also. Then what to do? We can use the same method, but we can change the logical part of it. Or that's what the meaning of changing the behavior. So for changing the behavior, if I take one more class, class rectangle, class rectangle, then inside this, I'll define one method called public int area of say int L for length, comma int B for breadth. Is it? Yeah. So here I'll return what's the logic? L into B. Yeah. Correct or not? Is it overriding? Is it overriding? Yes or no? Is this is overriding or not overriding? Yeah. Please a quick answer. Come on, guys. Yes or no? Yes, because same access modifier. What are the rules? Same access modifier, same return type, same method name, same number of inputs. Two, same type of inputs. Both are integers. But where? But where? In parent class and child class. Where is the extends keyword? Did I make the class as child class? No, I did not write this. Overriding inheritance is mandatory. So therefore, so here we have to use extends keyword. Extends keyword, then shape. So then this is nothing but this is overriding. Previously what? Shape class has one method, rectangle class has another method. That's how it will be treated. Now in this scenario, so this is nothing but overriding. So where inheritance is mandatory for overriding. Otherwise it's not overriding at all. Yeah. So now for execution, which class object we have to create? Always through inheritance, child class object only you have to create. Whenever there is inheritance concept, it is recommended to create child class object only. So what's the class name? Rectangle control space. Oh, it's not giving. Rectangle sum r equals new control space, then followed by r dot, yeah, it is not giving because floor brackets is missing. So it is r dot, which method to be called? Area, and what values to be passed? Any two integer values of programmer choice. Then what's output we'll get? Do we get 50 or do we get 10? Come on. System.out.println. Inside this, I'll call the method. So do we get child output or parent output? Child output only. So what the child is doing? Multiplying the values. L into B. So therefore, what should be our output? 50. Done. Yeah. So this is how we can change the behavior of parent class instance method from a child class. That's called as method overriding. Method overriding. Yeah. Same name, same signature, overriding. Same name, different signature, overloading. Overloading, inheritance is not required. Overriding, inheritance is mandatory. That's it. That's the simplest way of today's discussion. That's all. Nothing much. Clear? Yeah. Then if there is one more class, if we have one more class, for rectangle class also if child is there, like multiple inheritance, shape, rectangle, then some other, one more rectangle too. Then which has the priority when we execute that? Child most class only always has the priority to execute. Understood? Then my next question is, I want to get this 10 as output. We call this area method. For this also, how many inputs we have to pass? Two only. And what values to pass? Any two integers only. Two integer values you have to pass. But this is doing the logic of multiplying them. This is not multiplying them. This is returning 10 for that. Yes or no? Otherwise, let me take x plus y. This is adding. This is adding. So here with this child class object creation, we are getting the output of child method only. But in some scenarios, I want parent method also. What this x plus y is returning, that value I want to print it. Yeah. How to access parent class method from child class object? Can I call r dot area of 20 comma 30? Will it print 50? For example, if I use one more time the print statement, and if I use object reference of child class called r, then method name called area, then first value 20, then comma, second value 30. Will it add or will it multiply? Multiply only, because child class only always get the priority, right? Overriding child class method only will be executed always by default, I mean. Then this also will multiply 10 into 5, 50. This also will be multiplied because child logic is multiplying. So we'll get 600. But my question is, if we give 20 comma 30, it should print 50. Parent method output we want. How to do that? Yeah. To access current class instance members, which keyword we have to use? To access current class instance members, this keyword. Then to access parent class members, super keyword, right? Then where should I use super keyword? In child class only. Is from test class? No, from child class. Then what should do? Here, use one print statement because that is returning something. That's returning something. And for this method, so what method we have to call? Method name called area, then 20 comma 30 or some different values, 10 comma 20. Is this is correct? Is this is correct or not? Yes. This will call which method? This will call rectangle class method, or this will call shape class method. Rectangle only, because are we using any this keyword? Then by default priority goes to current class only. But precisely we have to mention super if it is to be parent class. So then we have to use a super dot. Then that's a parent class method. Yeah. Now if we execute this, this will print the multiplication result, and but this will print the addition result. Yeah, that's one, just an example. What is the use case and all? So once we go to real times, we'll see this. Control F11, I can't see. Yeah. So this is which one? 20 plus 30. This is 10 into 5. This is again 20 plus 30. This is 20 into 30. Because each outer method calling, inner method, parent method will be executed. Yeah. So that is a example. So if at all you want to call parent method, the option is from child class method only. We can go for accessing its parent method by using super keyword, because method is a instance member. It's not a constructor. Super call is for constructors. Super keyword is for variables and methods. Done? Done, guys. Clear? Any questions? No? Yeah. 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 So with this overloading and also overriding, so I'll stop for the day. And in tomorrow's class, we'll discuss about types of methods.